Okay, good morning students. Now, in today's class, I'll be continuing with the chapter sovereignty, okay? Because in the previous class, I've already completed meaning of sovereignty, the characteristics or the features of sovereignty. Understood? So in today's class, I'll be doing the different kinds of sovereignty. Clear? So syllabus is just the meaning, the features or the characteristics, and the different kinds of sovereignty. So here if you see, there are different kinds of sovereignty. Like for example, you have titular sovereignty, real sovereignty. Okay? Then you have legal sovereignty, you have political sovereignty. Then you have de jure sovereignty, de facto sovereignty, and the last one is popular sovereignty. So I'll be explaining these different types of sovereignties. Understood? So sovereignty, in the previous class, I think I've made it clear. What does it mean? Supreme powers. Okay? So it's either supreme powers which are exercised by the state, or it is a supreme powers which are given to the people. Understood? Because supreme power of the state means where state has got full control, as I said in the previous class. State has got full control over the life of each and every individual. So that is called supreme power of the state. Okay, now along with supreme power of the state, you also have supreme power of the people, where people are given the supreme sovereign powers. For example, I think I mentioned also in the previous class, India being a democratic country. Okay, so in a democratic country like India, people get to enjoy all the supreme sovereign powers. For example, in India, every citizen is entitled to vote, which means they've got the right to vote, irrespective of their caste, race, religion, language, etc. The only criteria required here is they have to be 18 years and above. So that right to vote, that right to choose their own representative, the right to form their own government, that is actually the supreme sovereign powers of the people. Okay, so now I'll start with the different kinds of sovereignty. Now the first one is titular sovereignty. Now here, titular sovereignty means here the sovereign enjoys powers, okay, but here the sovereign is just a nominal head. Okay, now nominal head means he is given powers, he exercises powers, but basically here his powers are only for name sake, which means he is just a name sake power holder. Understood? Again, I repeat it. Titular sovereignty means the sovereign head, okay, who is given powers, but basically here under titular head, his powers are only for namesake. Why? Because he is only a nominal head. Nominal means he is there only for namesake. Why? Because all the real and the actual powers here is not given to the titular sovereignty. Now here I'll give you the perfect example of the President of India, okay, then the monarch. Monarch means the king or the queen in UK. Okay, the President of India and the monarch, they are called titular heads. Why? Because they exercise powers only for name sake. Getting my point? Because President in India is a nominal head, because in India, real head is your Prime Minister. Okay. Similarly, in Great Britain, monarch is just a nominal head, just a namesake power holder, because again in Britain, it is the Prime Minister who actually exercises all the real and the actual powers. So, titular head, he is a nominal head. He exercises powers only for namesake, because he's just a namesake power holder, because all powers are given to the Prime Minister, the real head. And here, example of nominal head is President in case of India and monarch in case of UK. Because in UK again, it is the Prime Minister who enjoys the real and the actual powers. Then the next one is your real head. Now, like I said, real head here means where all the sovereign powers are given to the real power holder. All the real powers lies in the hands of the real sovereign. So again, in case of India, the real sovereign is the Prime Minister. In case of UK also, real sovereign is the Prime Minister, which means he holds important posts and portfolios. All major decisions taken by the Prime Minister. That is why in India also, whatever the President does, he does it on the advice of the Prime Minister. In UK also, whatever the monarch does, he does it on the advice of the Prime Minister. So, real head, where all the real and the actual powers lies in the hands of the sovereign. And here, the sovereign is the Prime Minister in India, as well as the Prime Minister in UK is the real sovereign head. Okay. Now, next we come to legal sovereign and political sovereign. Okay. So, here, legal sovereign means, by the word legal, something relating to your law. Isn't it? So here, legal sovereign means the person who has the supreme power to make the laws. Okay, that is to issue legal commands and legal orders. Getting my point? So first and foremost, you should know who is a legal sovereign. So here, legal sovereign means the person who is given the supreme powers, the sovereign powers to make the laws, as well as to issue legal commands and legal orders. In short, you can say that legal sovereign is a law-making body. For example, in India, which is the law-making body? The Parliament. In India, Parliament is considered to be the legal sovereign. Is it clear? So very simple, legal sovereign, something relating to law. Okay, so here, legal sovereign is a sovereign body, okay, which makes laws as well as issue legal commands and orders. And perfect example here of legal sovereign is the Parliament is the legal sovereign in case of India, because it is the one which makes laws for the entire nation, a lawmaking body in short. Okay, the next one is political sovereign. Now here, political sovereign is something which is related to your electorate system, election. Okay, so here, political electorate means since it relates to your election and electoral body, etc. Okay, so here, political sovereignty means, or sovereign means, the person or the people, they have the right to elect, yes or no, okay, through the process of election by exercising their right to vote. Okay, so they've got the power to elect, the power to vote, the power to choose the representative or the leader of their own choice. Okay, so anything which is relating to your election, your electoral system, okay, your right to vote, that comes under your political sovereignty, your political rights, because your political right means your right to vote. Okay, then you have your de jure sovereignty and your de facto sovereignty. Now here, de jure sovereignty means the person, okay, who is given the supreme powers or the authority to issue orders and commands, and he has the right to govern or to control the people. But here, de jure sovereignty is a sovereignty, okay, who is either elected by the people or he is the choice of the people. Okay, so here de jure sovereignty means a person, okay, who has got the power to rule over the people, okay, command obedience and order. Okay, for example, here, example of de jure sovereignty can be a king or the queen. Okay, so here, king or the queen is recognized as a de jure sovereignty. Means he is elected by the people. He is the choice of the people. So since he comes into power, he exercises what? Control over the people. How? By commanding obedience, by issuing law and order. Just the opposite of that is your de facto sovereignty. Now here in de facto sovereignty, the sovereign head, okay, or the sovereign body does not come into power through a legal manner. which means he is not the choice of the people. In fact, here in de facto sovereignty, what does he do? He comes into power using force, using illegal ways and means. And he forcefully makes the people obey his commands and orders. That is why here, the perfect example of de facto sovereignty is a dictatorship. Okay, now dictatorship means, for example, one person, one rule. The perfect example can be of Hitler, isn't it? Because Hitler was a dictator. He was not the choice of the people. He forcefully came into power. And what did he do? He tried to control the people by forcefully making them follow all the rules and regulations, by forcefully making them obey his commands and orders. Okay, so de facto sovereign means the sovereign body who is not elected by the people. In fact, he comes into power using force, using illegal means. And once he comes into power, what does he do? He tries to use force, makes the people forcefully obey his commands and orders. And here, the perfect example of de facto sovereignty can be dictatorship. Example, your Hitler, because Hitler himself was a dictator, isn't it? And he ruled the country by forcefully making the people obey his commands and orders. People could not go against him because he had created fear in the minds of the people. Okay. Then the last one we have is popular sovereignty. Now here, under popular sovereignty means where people have the supreme sovereign powers. Okay, so under popular sovereignty, it is the people who enjoy all the supreme sovereign powers. Like I said in the beginning, perfect example is like, for example, our country, India. Okay, so in India, people enjoy all the supreme sovereign powers. Why? Because first and foremost, it's a fully democratic country, okay, where the people get to enjoy all their rights and liberties. They cannot be deprived of their rights and liberties irrespective of anything. Okay, so here people have got the supreme lawmaking power. They make all the rules and regulations. They form the government. They have got the right to choose their own representative. Okay, so here everything is done by the people because people here enjoy the supreme sovereign power under popular sovereignty. Okay, so these are the different kinds of sovereignty: titular, real, legal, political, de jure, de facto, and sovereignty. So with this, we come to the end of the chapter, sovereignty. Because sovereignty, only two topics, as I said last time also, meaning, characteristics, which I did last time, and just the different kinds of sovereignty. Apart from this, you need not do any other thing which is there in your textbook. Okay, so next class, I'll be starting with the next chapter, for which I'll already be sending you a note, okay, in your class, WhatsApp class group. So please go through that note, and the next class I'll be doing the explanation of the same note. So thank you, class.